What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This week's video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of August 21st. We have about 10 games, some of those expansions, and we have some transfers from Kickstarters as well. The normal, and we have, it's going to be a great lineup. There's a couple of games on here that I've realized I'm discovering new publishers as well that have some really amazing games, and they're just been out for a while, but no one knows about them. So definitely coverage here first, and let's get the video going. Yeah, just as a disclosure, games coming to retail are the release date. The games coming to retail are the release dates for games coming into the U.S. Some of these games may have been mentioned in other parts of the world, other regions of the world, and they already may be out. However, we're going to be referencing the games coming to retail for the U.S. Due to the global shipping crisis, which is still going on, there's going to be some games that I may mention with the release dates of this week. However, they may come out at a different week, and I'll make sure to update you if that happens or if a change does happen. So let's get this video going and let's get the games coming out. So first things first is going to be Yoxii. Yoxii is by Cosmo Ludo, and it's actually the fifth abstract game in the series of games they have. It's coming out August 22nd. Looking here, the game looks pretty simple, but that's the kind of the beauty about games like this, is that they're really simple but have a really deep strategy to them. There's a lot of strategy that kind of makes them even better. So essentially all these tokens are worth a certain amount of points, and there's going to be a totem, the yellow totem you see here. That yellow totem is going to be kind of like the end game totem. Your goal is to end with the totem not being able to move anywhere, with your pieces specifically surrounded. You're either red or the white, and it's going to be almost like a game of chess, right? More like checkers, I would say. It's like a game of checkers, but not really with the rule set of checkers. So there's going to be more around the kind of like the strategic placing of. There's a couple of games that I can think of. It's an abstract game, and they're kind of marketed in a way that's good for everybody. The game basically, each piece here is worth a certain amount of points. You put the totem in the middle here, or you place a piece under where that totem's at. You move the totem across another enemy's piece, and the game ends when the totem can no longer move, and the pieces around it are counted for points. So you want to have the most pieces around it, or the highest amount of pieces around that totem. It's actually pretty cool. It's like the fifth game. This is actually a really good video. He describes it really well. And it's actually the fifth game of the list of abstract games. I didn't even know this existed, and I didn't know they had another 5 games around. But this is going to be Yoxii by Cosmo Ludo, coming out August 22nd. Coming out August 24th is going to be Akropolis. This is another really interesting game. So the game itself is like, it's almost like a Civ game, right? You have queries, you have sawmills, you're trying to collect your resources from building them, and then you're collecting resources from them, I'm assuming by turn, and you're building your city. And there's a really interesting mechanic where it's a 3D city builder. Yeah, that's the mechanic I'm talking about. You're going to be picking tiles and expanding the city by laying them on top of each other. And if you look here, that's kind of like an image of an already built city. Your whole goal essentially is by just enhancing your city the best way you can and stretching it out. It's very much like a Civ style game to a board game, and I really do. There's actually a good video as well. It explains it, and it's won a couple of accolades already so far. Should have sit down, reviewed it, and said good things about it. And this is by Hatchet Board Games, by the way. So the game looks interesting. It's called Akropolis. It's a 2 to 4 player game, tile placement, city building, and pattern building. I personally do enjoy games like this. I used to play a lot of mobile games where you have you build out your city, you collect resources per minute or per hour, I think it was, and you end up kind of building that. And I hope they can really translate that into a board game. I haven't seen it done kind of like well or the best way possible. So I hope this can do it. It's gonna be Akropolis by Hatchet Games. Coming up next is going to be Kamigami Battles: Rise of the Old Ones. It's by Japanime Games. So these are going to be a set of 3 expansions, and I'll explain the expansions as I go. But Kamigami is a deck building game that involves a lot of Cthulhu mythos style creatures, and you're kind of the same thing where you're battling different characters as you're building your deck, and it's a 1 to 6 player game. This game looks super interesting. I am really interested in this game. If you don't know already, I'm a big anime watcher and I love anime, and Japanese culture also intrigues me a lot. I hope to one day be able to learn Japanese. So this is going to be an expansion, and what this expansion brings essentially, it's actually a standalone expansion. You'll be able to recruit different warriors, disciples. Let's show you some of the card art. The card art looks really interesting. It looks a little, I like the card art, but it does look a little messy. I feel like there's a lot going on in the card himself for it to be just kind of really more straightforward. But hey, if it adds a little more depth and the cards do a little more details and do more than just kind of do one specific action, that'd be pretty cool to kind of play around with. So This is going to come in. This is going to be the Rise of the Old Ones expansion by Kamigami by Japan Games, called Kamigami's Battle Rise of the Old Ones, coming August 24th. Here's the next expansion, Kamigami Battles into the Dreamlands, coming out August 24th as well. And this is going to add a couple of new warriors, and it's going to be it's definitely an expansion, not a standalone expansion. A couple of new warriors and new cards that expand your game. Always good. Deck building games can get really stale after you play it a couple of times, so having expansions come out for these deck building games is actually really good, because like I said, after you play it a couple times, you kind of know the strategy, you know what cards are going to come out, you know what cards you're looking for, so this adds definitely a new mix to it. This is going to be Into the Dreamlands, and the last one coming out August 24th, Kamigami Battles, The Stars Are Right. Awesome. I mean, I love the card art. It looks super cool. I love the anime-esque of these games typically, and I feel like anime has not been translated to board games very well yet, and Japan Games is doing that for us, and they have a lot of great titles coming out as well. It's going to add some more cards, pretty simple stuff, and this is definitely a game that's on my list to play and pick up. I definitely want to play this, and I want to pick it up. Check it out, Kamigami Battles, and they're all three expansions coming out August 24th. This next game was actually from Kickstarter and now is coming to retail. It's called Teabbles. It's basically a bubble tea kind of style game, right? So you kind of, you have bubble tea orders. Let me see if I can find the picture that I saw earlier. I can't find, here it is. Okay. The pictures, I guess, are going to be the ones here you can see. You're going to see they're going to line up. You're going to line up your teas here. There's going to be different orders you have to fulfill. You're going to collect ingredients from the deck, and you're going to fulfill them with the cards in your hand. Pretty straightforward and simple game, really. You're just going to be trying to do that, and you collect points from every order you do. It's a cool game. It has really cool art, and if you're a big bubble tea lover, this is definitely one to pick up. It's coming out August 26th, Teabbles. From Lost Point Chain, we have a Plunder's A Pirate's Life coming out August 26th. A Plunder's Pirate Life. So, pretty interesting game, I won't even lie, because it's basically you're trying to capture the life of plundering or being a pirate, right? That's the name of the game. So I believe it was up here. Yeah, looks really cool. And I actually watched a couple of videos to learn how to play the game, and it's actually super interesting. So if you look here, there's going to be a store mechanic that comes into play. I'm assuming that damages your ship. You have 3 life pips up top, and you have different upgrades you can add to your ship. Let me see if I can find the picture about that. So you can upgrade and put different upgrades on your ship to try to make them better. And you're kind of exploring, going to different ports, exploring and trying to gain more notoriety as a pirate, and plundering, of course. Looks like there's a module board, which is kind of cool, because that way you can actually switch up the game and have it be different every time. Oh, excuse me. So it's going to be interesting to see if maybe they do some expansions or continue promoting the game. Lost Boys come up with a lot of interesting games so far. This one does look really cool. Let's see if I can get some more pictures here. The back of the box. Yeah, it looks honestly really interesting. I love the aspect, or the kind of dabbling of building out your own pirate ship. I think another game has done it before as well, but to the point where you can build out your pirate ship and then go explore it and sail it off and try to get your ships up. That's a really cool feature. I really like that a lot. The game looks kind of interesting, kind of simple. It definitely is interesting. It looks kind of simple, but that's perfectly fine. I think that's awesome. This is a game that's probably a little new and different. There's some videos, I think they're not called, it's got Kids Playing, but I think they're called Play the Game, not Kids Playing anymore. There's some unboxings on here. These shirts look really cool. The logo itself looks really cool for the game. Game is actually on my radar to play or try out or pick up. It's called Plunder's A Pirate's Life by Lost Point Entertainment, coming out August 26th. Coming up next, another game that came from Kickstarter and now is coming to retail, called Wu Wei. There's actually a Steam game on this that you can actually play now, and they made a board game adaptation. Interesting game as well. So in the game itself, and I'm looking for these pictures. Okay, cool, perfect. So you're gonna be playing as a disciple of, and you're kind of your sensei, your master, sent you out to go develop yourself, and you're trying to go out and hunt out the nature packs, right? To try to develop yourself. You find the animal cards, and you're trying to level up the whole way. It's passed down by like martial arts lineage, and that's how you win the game, is by collecting off the nature cards and then it going to the middle of the board. Super interesting concept. This is by Grey Wolf Games as well, and it's so far the game looks cool. It looks like a really interesting game. The bottom part here as well is going to be a lot of like, these are the actions, they teach you how to play. There's scenarios for initiative, master, and emperor level, so there's different variability of play, so that way if you get bored, a solo play mode's included, which is good. Solo play is always good in games. I think there's a lot of stigma behind playing by yourself, or people think that since you are a board game where you go and play with 4 or 5 people or go to a game night. You can definitely do solo play, and I think we should encourage that more with a lot of games. I think that's great. So this is gonna be called Wu Wei Journey of the Changing Path, coming out August 26th. So Star Trek Ascendancy is having 2 expansions coming out August 27th, and it's by Gale Force 9 Games. So let me just show you the base game first, because these are expansions. So Star Trek Ascendancy is a 4X style game where you're playing as in the realm of Star Trek, as different clans from Star Trek. So you're gonna go around going to different planets, and you're gonna be doing the 4X thing, like kind of like colonizing, pillaging, not really pillaging, but like colonizing, battling, and exploring essentially, right? So these are going to be there's ships there. I'm sure a lot of people, I'm not going to say I'm not a fan. I'm just going to say that I am not informed properly about Star Trek. So to know about all the lore and stuff, that's definitely not in my alley. I would play the game though. It looks really cool, and I love a good 4X game, and I love playing 4X games in general. I played a lot of so far, so this is definitely one I want to pick up. So that's kind of like it's a 4X game, right? So now they're adding some expansions coming out August 27th, and these expansions are called the Dominion and the Breen Confederacy, the Dominion War and Breen Confederacy. So the Dominion expansion is going to add some new exploration cards, a bunch of new tokens, some new planets to explore, and it's going to be like a full-out expansion for the game itself. So that's going to be a pretty standard when a lot of these games, when you add different more things to it. It's going to be called a Dominion, and the next one's come out, the Breen Confederacy, which apparently is a player expansion set. So from my understanding, it adds new exploration cards, all that stuff, new systems, more Breen ships, and it's going to be a player. So it's going to be a new the Breen. You're going to be able to play as the Breen, which is going to be a clan in the game itself. Adds a new player board here, some new cards, some new ships, and some new miniatures. So it's going to be more just like a new clan, not clan. There's a different word I'm looking for. Not a new clan. It's going to be a new faction of play as. So it's called Star Trek Ascendancy, the Breen Confederacy, coming out August 27th. Whew, that was quite a bit of games, honestly. More than our previous videos lately. So, but yeah, it's a lot of great games coming out. I definitely think you should check out most of them, if not all of them. They look pretty cool games. And if there's some of them are not up your alley because maybe it's an abstract game that you don't enjoy abstract games, maybe the level of play or the length of play from a 4X game might not be, definitely just give them a shot. Go out there and play some games. If you have any questions, if you see something that sounds wrong, comment, let us know. If you like what we're doing, you want to see more of it, don't hesitate to comment, like, or subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. And if you're a publisher, you watch this video, and you want your game featured, please reach out to me the Friday before your game's release week. That way I can upload it to the video and describe it properly. Please provide details as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.